All right, so today we're going to talk about the core a little bit. So we're down here on the ground. We're going to talk about the proper way to get it active and functioning, and then proper ways to strengthen it. Okay? One of the things to keep in mind is that the core is actually built primarily as a stabilizer. So it's very common to see in the gym a bunch of crunch type of movements, but they're really actually ineffective, and they definitely won't be the thing that's going to help you preserve your back and keep the back pain from showing up. So we're going to master stability, and then you can lead into the things like movement in that core. Okay? One of the first things we're going to practice is how to actually turn that core on. So a good way to give yourself a check is if we're laying down on our back, whether our knees are bent or elevated, doesn't matter. We're going to first take a big exhale, and your job is to take this space here and close it. So when you exhale, you're going to practice pulling your belly button down into the floor. Okay? So I want you to practice that a few times. Take an exhale, and see if you can tuck that butt under and close that space. Okay? If that starts to feel good, then the next thing you're going to do is think more about your ribs coming down into the ground. So again, I'll take that exhale. I'm looking for my belly button to come in and my ribs to come down. As you do that, you should start to get a little bit of feel for that. Okay? You should be able to close that space, and you should be able to feel your core start to turn on. That's step number one. If you can do that, we're going to go on to step number two, where we're going to flip over. Same idea, from all four position. I'm going to take that big exhale, and I'm going to imagine that belly button getting sucked in, those ribs coming in to against the imaginary floor, and then I'm going to elevate my knees. So now we put a little bit of load onto it, you should start to feel the core wake up even more. Okay? If you don't feel your core turning on, it means these are the movements I want you to practice first. If you're starting to feel it turn on, now we can start strengthening up that pattern. So anytime we go into a plank position like I'll demonstrate, whether it be a high plank or traditional low plank, boom, or side plank, doesn't matter, we're always going to try to line up that posture again. The cues we're going to think about is making yourself nice and long from head to toe. We're going to keep the head, shoulders, and hips all stacked together, and I always want you to turn it on before you assume the position. So if I'm doing my plank, I'm getting set up, I'm pressing my forearms into the ground to round out. I'm going to take that exhale, turn the belly on, and then I'm going to prop myself up and make the little adjustments nice and long, keeping that body in line, stabilizing this straight position. That applies for the plank, the side plank, or if we bring in any anti-rotation work, okay? Brace the position, staying nice and tall, supporting it. Boom. These are going to be some of like the next steps we're going to use to strengthen it. Again, as you get better and better and better, you will be able to change and add more variety to it. But these are always going to be the foundations. And let's go back to those first two movements. If you don't feel your core turning on, then that's where you're going to stay and practice before leading into the more advanced options.